Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Womansplain. Today we have two special guests. Actually, the first time we've had both co-founders on an episode, so really special. Halli Siegel and Shelby Sims, co-founder of Quincy, an exciting new martini drink and beverage company. I'm going to pass off to them a little intro and have a really fun chat about their awesome company. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm Halli. I am the co-founder and CEO of Quincy.
And I'm Shelby, co-founder and chief experience officer of Quincy.
Ooh, chief, also CEO.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same acronyms, different roles. But no, we're excited to talk all things teeny time and just cocktails in general.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we love talking and we love teenies, so we're so excited to have you guys. Let's just start with the product. What is Quincy?
Yeah. So what we like to say is that every great cocktail has a really amazing liquor, but half of it is the garnish. Up until now, we feel like liquor brands have done a great job of building brand affinity for their products, but mixers and garnishes have been ignored until now. We say we're building brand love for the other half of the glass by making innovative mixers and garnishes for the modern consumer. Yes, and our launch product was our Dirty Martini Olive Mix. We say it has the ideal ratio of olives to premium brine. You're probably asking yourself, what is the ideal ratio, right? I don't know. Shelby, you want to share?
Yeah. I guess a question for you both. When you make dirty martinis at home, do you have a sense of ratio, or what is your approach for making it, or?
For me, it's just vibes, which is not great.
Really just sometimes they're great, sometimes they're real bad. I would say they're really hit or miss, and I have no idea why, honestly, yes.
Because we don't follow up.
I'm not following the recipe, I'm just shaking it up and going.
Very much in line with when Halli and I started Quincy, the whole brand idea is we tried making dirty martinis at home easily and quickly found out that it wasn't easy, right? You both say you shoot from the hip or from off of vibes. You take a common olive jar and it has a lot of olives, very little juice, and so that leaves you with either going down the store to also buy brine. Now you're buying two products. So when Hallie's talking about the ideal ratio, is we actually flipped the switch a little bit, or concept of let's give the right amount proportion of brine to olives for the cocktail, so you don't have jars of rotting olives in your fridge. One jar renders about 14 dirty martinis, depending on how dirty you like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Okay, that's a lot. That's great for entertaining, obviously. And how do you use it? Is it literally just pour this in vodka and gin and you're good to go? Do you need a cocktail shaker? Do you need stuff? Is there anything else, or is it just Quincy, vodka, go?
Yeah, I mean, the best part about dirty martinis, I think, is that everyone likes to make theirs their own special way. I mean, we will say definitely have a cocktail shaker if you can. That's how it's best served. But you can add vodka or gin. I am a vodka girl. I don't know. But you can just add it into the shaker, add some Quincy, some vermouth. We spray our glasses with vermouth, shake it up, stir it however you see fit, and then garnish with Quincy olives, because they're already in the jar for you. Yeah.
Wow.
And the jars also, there's no alcohol in it too, so it appeals to folks that are trying to do obviously the gin, vodka, quintessential dirty martini, but it can also apply to mocktails. It can also apply to Bloody Marys or beer teenies, which have gotten a lot of love as well. So there's a lot of different angles that you can play with it as too.
Awesome.
Essentially team salty.
Yeah, savory. There's a lot of
Savory.
Savory.
Yeah. Perfect.
Amazing.
Let's just go back to, I guess, how you guys started out your careers, because I know you guys have some experience in CPG before. What were you doing before Quincy, and when was the moment when you were like, all right, maybe this is an idea that we have to pursue?
Yeah. So I started my career at Casper. It's a mattress company.
Yeah.
If you were in...
I had a Casper.
I had Casper.
I still have a Casper,
Yeah, for sure.
If you were in New York in 2016, you definitely saw a Casper Subway ad.
sure.
And I was on their customer experience team and helped bring on a call center, it's the intersection of operations and experience is my expertise. From there, I moved to Chief, which is a members club for executive women.
I'm a member.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And I built their experience team from the ground up. I was a 9th employee and left in 2024 and to pursue Quincy full time. So that's kind of when we made the leap. Yeah.
Wait, hold up. So you answered customer service calls about mattresses.
I did.
'Cause that's crazy.
I did. It really humbles you, I will say.
I feel like that cannot be more, I don't know, that's in the top of customer experience complaints.
Yeah.
I mean, was there some wild That must have been wild.
It was really wild. But also, if you think about it, when you're buying a mattress, you're buying it at like a really heightened time in your life. Like
Yes.
you're moving, something
Totally.
has happened, or something really
Broke up.
exciting. Yeah.
Like selling your house.
Yes, exactly.
Fucking financial disaster.
Yeah.
Things burned down.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, bad.
Yeah.
Like, basically, I associate moving a mattress with trauma.
Exactly.
I don't, like, personally.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like you were, I don't know, probably the victim of just a lot of just trauma dumping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a thick skin for sure, but then you also learn how to kind of like navigate these really difficult conversations with people who are like have a really high expectation for what you're supposed to like deliver, and then you kind of fall short, and like how do you make it up to them? And so I think by starting my career there, I think you learn every single aspect of a business. You learn things from like how does the supply chain impact like the reviews to the marketing, all of it. So like it really gave me like a full 360 of what it's like to run a business when you're on the front lines like that. So it was like honestly like a crash course in business, especially working at like a startup like that where you could just like kind of dip your hands in everything. So it was really interesting.
No, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay. And how
Yeah, so
I wanna hear yours
while
too.
Halli was focused on sleep, I got started actually in the food and beverage space at like marketing behemoth brands as FIJI Water and Red Bull. So
Very cool.
I went from getting free water every day to getting free energy drinks every day, but then pivoted more into like the tech space where I was consulting global brands on like launching a D2C brand. So saw just like firsthand, similar to what Halli was saying, of just like logistics from getting the product shipped to end consumer, how these brands were making like viral D2C consumer brands digitally and then in real life. So a little bit of like traditional grocery with Fiji and Red Bull to then digital landscape with just like tech. So that combined with Hallie's experience, then, you know, we formulated the idea of Quincy and then made the jump together.
Awesome. And how did you guys meet? Were you guys friends?
A mutual friend actually who
Yeah.
I worked with at Casper and then
Okay.
also at Chief.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And the reason we got connected is because she knew that we had a shared love for dirty martinis.
Hey.
So we met off of talking about, you know, is it blue cheese olives or is it vodka or gin?
Yeah.
Awesome. And so you guys were just kind of getting to know each other on that level with the idea of wanting to start a company, or did that come after the fact?
Yeah, so I think like we both were talking to this friend at the same time about wouldn't this be so cool? Like if we could build a company around dirty martinis. She's like, my friend's actually saying that and vice versa. So we got connected.
Wow.
We actually started building Quincy in 2020. But we were doing our full-time jobs and it just like wasn't the right time for it. So we kind of put it on the back burner. And then in 2023, I was like laying awake one night and I was like, what's my life? What am I gonna do? I'm like, wanted to figure out what's next. And I was like, I feel like this product has legs. Like the more I thought about it, I was like, the mixer and garnish space is like not very sexy. There are not that many like players. Like, what if we really built something that's just even beyond dirty martinis? But obviously start there. And it was like 12 p.m. in New York. And I texted, I felt bad. I was like, hey, like, I'm really thinking about Quincy again. Like, I think we should like go for it. And
Yeah, Halli texts. Well, I'm 3 hours earlier because I'm in California time, so I'm in like hot yoga. You know, mine's racing a bunch of different places on the mat. And funny enough, I was thinking about Quincy in that class, and then like opened my text to see a response from Halli, and I just at that point was like, we just have to do it. Like, rip off the Band-Aid. We've done the market research. We've put in like years of just like considering like the product market fit. Like, let's just make the jump and like get product in hand.
That's awesome. And so did you guys quit and then start building the product?
No, so we kept our full-time jobs as we were kind of like figuring out like how to actually bring this product to life and to market. And then I left my job in 2024 when we actually had the physical like good to sell. Yeah.
And where is Quincy right now? Are you in retail chains? Are you e-com? Where are you?
Great question.
Yeah.
So you can buy Quincy at 110 growing specialty retailers across the country.
Very cool.
We also have an e-com website, so you can buy online.
Sick.
And then you actually can drink Quincy martinis at around 15 restaurants and bars in New York City because we have our D2C product or our consumer-facing product, but food service and trade is like a huge revenue channel for us.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
that product different than your straight D2C product? No.
Same product,
Okay.
but like a huge gallon. Honestly, I wish we had it here.
Yeah.
It's like a gallon. It's 150 of our olives, 70 ounces of our brine, but it's the same thing because when we went to bartenders with our glass product, they're like, we actually have that problem. Like, we don't love the brines on the market, or we use olives and we run out of brine, we throw away olives. We need that ratio. but we don't want it in glass. And like, also this serves 14 martinis. They're like, we serve 200 martinis in a weekend. We can't have this. So we're like, we went really quickly back to our co-man and we were like, we need a larger product, and we're able to pivot that and launch that this past June officially.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow.
And when you were launching the product, what do you think was the hardest thing? Was it the actual product development, manufacturing, delivery? What was it?
All of it is
All
hard.
of it.
Pick your poison.
Yeah.
Pick your battle. No.
But I think a lot of CPG founders can like make their product at home at first. They can like sample recipes, they can do things. We don't have olive groves in our backyard. And like
We don't have a backyard.
Yeah, we don't even have a backyard. The sheer amount of olives we would need and the amount of brine, like we really wanted high quality brine, and to get that, you need to go to the source. How are olives cured? Like, where do you find them? And so we knew we had to work with a co-man like right off the bat. We didn't have really the luxury of just like making the product in a commercial kitchen. But also I think like the other side of the coin, that's a huge advantage because we were retail ready when we launched. And we found a partner who could scale with us. So like, hey, win-win. But it was really hard. Like we were going into it with like, we had no idea like how to do this. We were asking just like maybe not the smartest questions, but we found someone who like is a great partner to us. So we're really lucky.
Where are the olives from?
Olives are from Spain.
Cool.
Yes.
All right.
Best.
And is it shelf stable, or what is I mean, I feel like that's very complicated. You're in a lot of stores, sounds like across the country, you tour across the country. So how is that developed?
Yeah. So going into this business, what we didn't think about is just what are challenges with packaging and shipping and like perishable items, et cetera, et cetera. A blessing we discovered is like we play in the alcohol space, but we're non-alcoholic. So that gives us a huge advantage for like selling and permitting laws. We do have a shelf life, which is great. Our biggest problem or challenge is shipping glass. And so when you ship something that's heavy, it tends to break or leak. So any CPG packet, like brand, is going to have, trials and tribulations with like how they're packaged. But generally for us, like we feel like shelf life is great. The obstacle is just tackling packaging with a heavier product in glass.
Yeah. 2 years unopened. And actually, technically, if you
That's
open it,
long.
no, it's really good. That's like why we were so confident too moving with a co-packer, because we were like, okay, we got we got a pallet delivered to my like Brooklyn apartment. Like it was crazy. It was like about to start raining. I was like, oh my God, our product's gonna get like soaked. It was like we were like carrying it in like case by case. But we were like, we can get 90 cases. We'll try and sell them. We have 2 years to do it, or like, I mean, obviously not 2 years, but like we have time to do it. We don't have to worry about transporting it, refrigerating it, all of that. So it did create like a little bit more like a comfort level when we placed that big first order, because we felt like we had a little bit of a barrier to get that, to get to market.
Yeah. Or like even refrigeration, like we can bypass that too. We have friends that are in ice cream business. It's like, oh gosh, like
Dairy. Dairy's the worst. I feel like that seems like, I don't know. They're all hard. They're all hard.
They all present their challenges.
Yes, for sure. But at least like it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
In terms of the tasting process, what was that like? Were you guys? I mean, would love to hear about that. How did you land on the right recipe? It must have been hard.
Yeah. I was puffy for probably
For
the majority of 2023. It was really puffy. We still are, I would say.
A lot of lymphatic drainage.
Yes.
Gotta have a lot. Yeah, exactly.
A lot of water.
Our fragrance is brine.
Yes. It's crazy. But no, we found a partner. We're like, this is what we want to do. And so they were like, here's a bunch of different recipes that we can go with. And it was just a bunch of sampling of like, okay, here's the brine from the barrel with nothing in it. Here's some salt water. Here's this, here's that. Here are all the olive varietal. So it was just like, honestly, that. And then we started doing blind taste tests with our friends. So we sat down like 10 people and we'd pour like all our competitors. And what was it, like 8, 9 times out of 10, we were ranked either number 1 or number 2 in taste. And we're like, there we go. We got it. Like, this is it. So, yeah.
Because a lot of martini fans, like, they resonate with the problem statement of like, they love how the brine tastes in the olive jar, but they run out of it within the martini or 2. And so we're like, okay, how can we preserve that olive taste that like the olives are cured in, but make it brine for the cocktail? And so that's where it came with like figuring out a custom blend and recipe that our co-packer was willing to work with us on, because the ingredient list for brine is not that extensive. Like it's salt and it's olives and, but it is interesting just like when you do the blind taste test, like how the variance of salty versus the dismissal of olives. So that's where we really felt like we found a sweet spot.
Are there competitors in the space that are doing what Quincy's doing that aren't just olive companies?
So there's no one that's doing the like 2-for-1 with like the ideal ratio. There are competitors that sell just the brine or olives separately, but we're the first to kind of do the like garnish and the mix in the same jar. And also I would say all of these brines have very different flavor profiles and use different olives. And so instead of being like super filtered or like added like liquor, things like that, we were like, okay, we just want to have like a really good olive flavor. So
Yeah, because like the convenience piece is what we feel like there's a disconnect with like any brand association of like someone feels empowered at home to make that dirty martini that they love ordering out. Like when you both go into an alcohol store, like do you hit up the mixers and garnish aisle? Is there a brand that you snag? Like what does that experience look like for you both?
The only time I ever do it is if I'm having a party.
Yeah.
That's like literally it. Not my day to day. And I
Yeah.
feel like my day to day, honestly, I probably just drink wine at home. Even though I love a cocktail, I do feel like I do associate though. I wonder if this is interesting for your choice of starting with the dirty martini. I feel like I associate the martini with like a very upscale bar, like this experience of like having like, you know, that good looking bartender make a whole thing, like serve it to me. Did you feel like there was any challenge of being like, oh, you can do this at home, like it's cheapening this brand at all, and you have to change a consumer's mindset around that?
yeah, that's a great question. I think like people were just really excited to see a product because like you said, it's like a beloved cocktail. And so I think that they were like, oh my God, I can make this at home. I've never been able to make this at home. And then I think coupled with our premium packaging and our premium ingredients, and we try to keep our label as clean as possible, it was like, okay, this actually is like something that I want to buy. But the mixer and garnish aisle is like not sexy at all. You don't go there. Like every time we ask someone, we're like, do you go to the mixer and garnish aisle? Like, no. So I think there is work to be done to like make people want to visit that aisle, where I think other CPG brands are like, I'm already in the like peanut butter aisle. If I see something new and exciting, I'm like, okay, I'm here. No one is visiting our aisle. So we really have to build like excitement in that. And that's kind of been a little bit of like a challenge, but also something we see as like a huge opportunity because no one's done it before. And it should be us.
Yeah.
So you're in liquor stores, or are you all over? I mean, you're in California, so it might be state by state, but
Definitely state by state. So launching in New York, you cannot sell like non-alcohol products to like a liquor store. So
really, okay,
yeah, learned that from
We learned that
door
from-
to door.
yeah, that's so weird.
Yeah.
I would assume. I mean, I would
What about
just
like
assume.
mocktails?
Right.
They don't sell them? Oh.
They like, I think they'll change. It was a prohibition law, but I think they'll change it because like there's such a rise of like NA and things like that. But like if you go in and you see something, it's probably like Amaro soaked cherries or something that has like a little tiny percentage of alcohol. We have no alcohol in our product whatsoever. So unfortunately, no.
But yeah, outside of New York, like we're in stores in California that sell liquor combined with where Quincy is placed. But we see that being like a huge opportunity is like getting into the curated liquor alcohol stores where people are going to get the high-end spirit or that grab-and-go giftable. That coupled with like the specialty retail shops that we're seeing such great penetration or like response of like people are going there for gifts or they want that like quality product that they can serve and hosting at home. So there's obviously a lot of different revenue streams, but like going into niche markets to start is where we feel like building the brand momentum will be really powerful.
Yeah. Something that I've seen, and you mentioned this, is like this rise of the trend of, you know, health conscious consumers not drinking. Gen Zs aren't drinking. They're not going out.
What are they doing?
I know. I don't know what they're doing. They're just at home watching TikToks, I guess. They need to get out more. But how do you kind of deal with that and having this, you know, garnish company that is obviously coupled with alcohol?
Yeah. I love this question because it's kind of facing like addressing the elephant in the room if you exist within the alcohol and spirits space and industry, because it is true. I mean, this is like first time ever consumption for alcohol is seeing a huge decline. Our perspective is this is a trend and like no trend is everlasting. We were talking about ice cream brands a couple minutes ago. Like dairy was out 5-10 years ago. Now it's back. So if you have if ice cream company, you're taking out your ingredients and you're putting it back in the whole milk. And so for us, our goal is to be the number one mixer and garnish brand. So one brand for every cocktail for really any consumer. And so we play as a non-alcoholic option to fuel premium crafted cocktails, but can also pivot to open the door for greater mocktails, especially mocktails that have clean ingredients that aren't sugar bombs and that can like give more of that savory flavor.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the retail and restaurant food chain wasn't something I imagined that you could enter, but has a lot more lasting availability just because restaurants make so much money on alcohol, right? They make like the vast majority of their money on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know the statistics on it, but I don't think that the amount of people ordering alcohol within a restaurant is really dipped. So there's exactly. So there's more access there, plus low margin. They're looking for anything to increase it, probably fixing time and training and like all of that. I thought about catering too. That's the other good one.
Yeah, we have a lot of really exciting like trade and revenue. I would say like we always, when we look at our where we sell, I would say majority is going to be either retailers or like on-premise accounts, like these caterers, these bars, these restaurants, airlines, like anything like that, sports arenas, all of it, because that's like where people are consuming or where they're purchasing. We don't 100% see this as like a full like D2C like boom, because it's not really where people are like buying this type of product. But I think there's a way we can make it like exciting. People want it, giftables, things like that. But yeah. I feel like D2C, our concept is all, I don't know, there's so many grocery items, it's like, it's just easier to get in a store. Like, are you going to go to every website to order your favorite ingredient to make a dish? In some cases, yes, but like just meeting consumers where they are, and that can be like purchasing directly off TikTok or Instagram or at a very curated like private dinner event in New York. And so integrating more into like the consumer types that we're going after, we feel like that's kind of like more the strategy than just like going D2C because you can.
Yeah. And would love, I feel like both of you have pretty similar actually corporate experience, maybe a little bit different, but how has that sort of influenced how you've built the company? Have you had to look for skills elsewhere, developed your own? Just would love to hear about that too.
Yeah, I mean, I think working at like high growth startups, you just kind of like learn to be a jack of all trades, which is amazing when you're a founder, because like 1 minute you're like building a pitch deck, you're working on your P&L, and the next you're like face to face with a retailer selling. And so I think kind of having that toolbox available, like I always say, like, working at a startup, like, you don't need to go to business school. No offense to business school or anyone, but like you just learn so much from like the people around you, and you can like, you also really learn to ask for help, which is a huge thing as a founder. I think like I advocate for all the time. It's like, if you're not an expert in something, like outsource it, ask someone, hire someone to do it. Like, it's worth it versus like feeling like, okay, I'm gonna spend 3 hours researching this one thing. Like, no, I'd rather just at this point like have someone do it and like focus those 3 hours on landing former retail accounts. That's a better use of my time. So I think the startup experience for me was really helpful in that.
I think something like typical startup is like, we move fast paced, go, go, go. And it's like, there's something about like slow, smooth, and smooth is fast. And so like coming from worlds where like they do move very fast, but like understanding that other industries like food and beverage maybe doesn't necessarily mean that's like up against you. Like, you just work towards being methodical and like thinking about your growth strategically. I think too, our experiences while in similar landscapes, mine is very much like in the field and sales and client facing, and Halli's has been client experience, but back end operational. So we already share this like brain, but like left and right portion, which has been, again, just a blessing and getting connected off of a shared cocktail, but it has made like the partnership really strong.
And I know you guys launched in 2024, and you guys are all in retailers, et cetera. What are you kind of focusing on right now?
Yeah, I mean, holiday is a huge time for us. I would say, I mean, I drink martinis year round, but they definitely like have a moment when the turtlenecks come out. Like, people are ready.
I'm sure entertaining is a big one for you.
Exactly.
Parties, events, restaurants.
Yes. So we're really, really focused on just having a great holiday season and just getting in as many retailers, as many bars and restaurants, like liquid on lips, we like to say, just like having people try our product, getting it there. And I mean, you know, we have a few exciting products coming out too. We want to show people like we are not just this like dirty martini brine and olive mix, but we want to win like the martini as a cocktail. We don't want to just like go to all these different like products just to go to other products. We're being very thoughtful with it. So that's kind of like our focus, is just like grow in a way that like makes sense. I think it's easy to chase these like big accounts. We're not ready for that yet. Like we said, the mixer and garnish aisle is not one people are visiting. If we were to go to a big account, I don't think we'd see the velocity we want. So like, let's build a lot of brand love at these like local small stores. And I think we are lucky because most of the liquor stores in the country are independently owned. So it's good.
For sure. And who is your like ideal consumer? Who's buying Quincy? Who are you targeting?
That's good. Yeah.
So we created the brand, like Quincy, the name itself, to be this like personification of like very inclusive, to be that like wingman, wingwoman, like your bartender's best friend. It's the person that's there in the highs and lows when you want a drink, when you're looking for a celebratory moment. And so we see the brand, and like even the launch product, like the martini, is inclusive to all genders and all age groups. But then kind of layering in like, okay, what do our consumer types value? It's folks that, you know, are purists. They care a lot about like the ingredients that they're putting into their body, so clean, high quality. Folks that like love to be that like social trendsetter that like hosts, and they like want all the curated foods to show their guests. And then like thirdly, which is like hitting back to the ideal ratio, it's convenience seekers. Like, you know, the cocktails are so great out, and everyone's like, I wish I could make this at home. And so how can you inspire the modern mixologist with products that are high quality and premium but are easy and DIY?
And you mentioned you're thinking of new products. Does that still include the olive, or are you kind of venturing out of the dirty martini?
We're staying dirty for 2025. Yeah, that's what to say. But there's a lot of different ways that you can enjoy a savory cocktail, and so
You can have like infusions.
yeah,
Sky's
exactly,
the limit.
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
fun.
different formats, just ways
Different
to
types
enjoy
of olives.
Yeah,
There are a lot of varietals.
there are a lot of varietals.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Speaking of, olives are kind of a tricky one, right, to source. They only grow in very specific regions. There's risk around. Usually the regions have fire risk, and there's climate change and whatever. How is that? I don't know. Have you been managed that? Did that at one point make you think you should switch out of the dirty martini game? What was that sort of experience?
We entered the olive scene at like the worst time.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm like, literally, there's none in California. I'm like, there's none in California anymore.
Right.
They're like, they're down. I mean, yes.
But it's actually interesting because like we've been able to like basically like base our pricing off of like the highest priced olives. Like in the last, like our importer says, like it's never been more expensive in like the last 10 years. They have a feeling it will go down. It kind of ebbs and flows. But like with that, we've been able to kind of like price it as a premium product, but something that's accessible to people. But we like have like built in this like extra cost, and like they're optimistic that it like ebbs and flows. Hopefully like they're looking at like a better harvest this year, which will be really good. But I think because we came at such a like volatile time, we've kind of been able to like just set up our business in a way that like makes sense for those like olive harvests. And then you can get olives, like we are really particular with the types of olives we use Spanish Queen, but they also grow them in Turkey. So it's like, okay, like we just make sure that the ones we're sourcing are the best. If they're not from Spain, that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Do you guys visit the olive farm? Do you go?
I was just
that'd be
gonna say, our
fun.
Euro trip is like still on the book.
Yeah.
It's a business trip. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Eventually.
Eventually. Yeah.
We have been to like, we go to obviously our co-manufacturer a lot to see how and like try all the products and things like that. We've not made it to the farms yet.
Yeah.
One day, hopefully soon.
For sure.
And I know it's just you guys with on Quincy right now. How do you kind of approach marketing and raising brand awareness?
I think I would say like that's probably one of the biggest things that we have to kind of work on right now. I think first off, our product itself, we worked really hard on the label and what it says. It honestly markets really well on the shelf. Like we have really great velocities at a lot of our stores. Like they're selling through quickly because it's just like, this is what it is. Like it's like an olive brine for dirty martinis. Here you go. But we do a lot of like IRL activations. We like want to surprise and delight our customers. Like you love dirty martini. Why would you not love it when you're at like a craft night or at a hair salon or something? It's just trying to get in front of the consumer in like very delightful, unexpected ways. Has definitely worked for us because it's like we've actually been at events where people are like, oh, I've seen this before, and you're like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah, there's been some cool moments where we've been at like conferences and someone runs up and is like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite product. I gift it to everyone I know, and they're just like talking to us like, tell us more. You know, they don't know that we started the brand. So it's like moments like that are awesome. But to Hallie's point, it's like, again, how do we activate this community that's really disengaged with mixers and garnishes, but like has their favorite vodka or has their favorite gin or favorite wine, and doing that in like an integrated way so that you become this lifestyle brand beyond just being like at a happy hour or a bar or restaurant.
Have you done partnerships with alcohol brands, with alcohol companies?
We have a select few that we'll work with like for happy hours or events or like our preferred partners. But nothing like official. I think there's like a huge opportunity to get into like ready to drink at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We've also done some really cool like co-branded partnerships of like when you think about like lifestyle brands that you love in your kitchen or in your living or in your home, like there's a lot of like different angles that we've played with, and so we have some exciting ones coming for this fall. Kind of hush hush now, but like, you know, you can think about like broadening of like a martini can be associated to watches you wear or cars you drive or events you go to or sports and so there's a lot of different like integration or activations that we've tested, but there's more. The sky's the limit there.
I know you guys, of course, are founders now. Did you think that you would found the company before, 2020? Did you always have an entrepreneurial spirit? How did you kind of deal with, being a founder and being okay with taking that risk?
Yeah, I mean, I like always known I want to do something. I have a lot of entrepreneurs in my family, and I just was like, I want to be a founder, but I don't want to be a founder just to be a founder. I think there are a lot of people like, great, I want to do it. Like, I'll do anything, and like, it doesn't make sense. So I was like, I really have to feel passionately about the product, which is why it took from 2020 to 2023 for us to like, okay, like I really think this is it. I feel really excited about it, to make that jump. So being surrounded by entrepreneurs growing up, I always knew like, yes, it sounds like amazing, but it had to be the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then also same, like, grew up in a family of entrepreneurs, knew I always wanted to start a company and brand, something that's tangible, that I can, like, see, hold in my hand, and there's that, like, lifestyle, like, this is well branded to resonate with, like, a general large audience. I think making the jump into launching a product, like, doing it with Halli, doing it with the co-founder from day zero, I think is the way to go, like, versus just doing it on your own. It's a lot. And so again, like we talk about left brain, right brain, or like how you can tackle different components of it, but really be in the trenches together to like get through each day, because it can be lonely out there.
Seriously, like I'm also like, I'm not the salesperson. She's like such a salesperson, and I'm like, oh my god, like I have to follow up with this, like whatever. And she's so good at being like, Halli, like just do it, like go out there. And I'm like, like it's nice to have like the yin and the yang to that. Like I feel like, yeah.
And to celebrate the little milestones,
Yeah.
like when you buy your domain, or when you get like your product first sample to you, like someone that you can call and share that moment, because no one knows who you are at that point. So you need someone to celebrate, you know? So
definitely being a founder is such a lonely experience, as you mentioned. At least you guys have each other, but that whole journey of being a founder and experiencing things yourself, it can be a really lonely experience. How have you kind of found like the consumer space, especially in New York, the community? Do you have any mentors? How's the community like here in New York?
That's a great question. I like love the CPG community in New York. I think like everyone is so supportive of one another, and I think you kind of like almost operate in these like cohorts in some way. I think of it like every product that launched in like June of last year, I think I know every founder, because you're kind of like working the same circuit of the same stores, and everyone's so supportive of one another, and they're always willing to help. But then also there are new people launching, so then you help them. There are so many different ways to tap into the community, and I love to yap. I'm like such a yapper. So for me, like if Shelby's not available, I'm like, great, I'm gonna go like find another co-founder that I know and just like call them and like talk to them about something. So I feel like you really should lean on your community. It's so important, and then like really fun things come from it. A lot of like brand like partnerships or like collaborations. Like I don't know, we always say rising tides rise all ships. It's like there's no competition here. I don't know. It's just nice to be in a community like that.
Yeah. I think, as humans, we love to eat and drink, and sleep. But going back to Casper, but so I feel like everyone can resonate with food and like or different beverages, and so when you share your idea in like the food and beverage space, I think people just get excited. Like, okay, someone's a peanut butter brand, you're dirty martinis. This is all awesome. They don't like. There's not this sense of like I'm gonna keep my knowledge in my corner and not share with you. It's just like it's very open, it's very insightful, and it's fun.
And I guess you're in California, so is there also a CPG community out there that you lean on?
Definitely, yeah. And like bi-coastal, the world is small, like in any industry that you're in, and we've seen that like firsthand, and like how we've been showcased in different retail shops, and like how we've connected with folks across the country, and then like have found each other in other retail shops. So we have been focused in New York as just like Martini HQ, but Californians love their martinis too, and there's plenty of people on the West Coast and in between, like all over, really.
And how have you guys really built, as like you weren't really friends before, so you really started out kind of strangers, built this company together across country. What has that been like, and how has that evolved?
I think it's been like really special and like magical, because it's like, okay, we weren't friends before this. And I think that makes us allow us to have like really honest conversations where it's like, okay, like we're like business first. Of course, we're friends now, but it's like we've been able to really like make decisions in a way that like makes sense for both of us, because we're not like tiptoeing around like, okay, well, we're going like a bachelorette party together next weekend, so like this is awkward or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, I think we like
it's very unique, because at least from my experience, like folks have done business together and then they like have a new business idea and they pull people they've done business with, or people have an idea and they pull friends. And we were literally unified off of a net new like idea, and so it just formulated this like healthy partnership from the start of like, we're putting Quincy first with like collaboration in mind and with fairness in mind and like win-win for both of us. But it was just like this like Venn diagram that I just don't think you come across that often, right?
Yeah.
Versus the two other routes of like meeting people in business you already know, or starting something with friends and family. So it's been pretty unique, and definitely would recommend it if other folks can find themselves in this situation. The bi-coastal life, you know, we all.
How do you guys do it?
You know?
she wakes up early, so it's amazing.
You know, I can finish working on my martini at 2 instead of 5. But yeah, it works, and like and you can also tackle there's pros and cons, but two great markets to build the brand, and so we're boots on the ground in both. So that's great, but then we also miss out on being in person every day. So challenges, but like we use it to our advantage, I would say.
Yeah.
And was there ever a concern that, although Quincy obviously is the definition of kind of the martini experience, it's not the full drink.
Yeah.
That like a customer would have a bad experience with Quincy because of an external factor and associate it negatively. Like, is that a worry? And how do you kind of fight against that?
So like a negative experience of like
they have a terrible martini that has Quincy in it, but it's their fault.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you're like, it's not, you don't have like a full control over like the end consumer experience.
Yeah.
Right?
I would say, I mean, embracing, just like we're like in business, you're going to get no's to get yeses. So like we want critical feedback. We're looking for people that are like, this is why I don't like your product. Truthfully, 99% of the time people have the product, they love the taste. There has been like 1 to maybe 2 customers that maybe have given slight feedback, and we take it to heart. But we know it's not like a product for everyone, especially that it is acquired taste.
Yeah, so you don't like drink martini.
You know, and
it's
even,
like you're not gonna like it. That's fine.
And even in those cases, people try it and they're like, you know what, I'm like warming up to this. So it happens, but like generally speaking, like we've done the quality testing, and like overall, like it's just renowned and positive, but we do look for any like critical feedback.
Yeah, I think like anything, it's like how you prepare it. And so we try our best to like give as much instruction as we possibly can, or like how to enjoy it, or here are other ways to enjoy it. But I think when you have like a mixer, there is like always that third component of like, how are they mixing it? So just trying to get in front of the consumers of like, when you unbox and like you learn about a product, like this is like how to make the martini, this is what you should be doing. So like some of those things are out of our control, but we try our best to like, okay, like make it the best product we possibly can, and then like give them the instructions that they need. And then like we talk to a lot of our customers, they email in, they ask questions, like we'll talk to them. If they don't like it, we'll issue a refund. We're like, okay, fine. Like we just are open to all of that. So yeah.
That's awesome. And especially, I mean, you have so many revenue channels with so many different things. How have you managed that too? Like obviously managing the end customer at home, and like the restaurant bartender and everything. How have you guys been able to do that?
We're going
to experience. Yeah.
Market by market. I think like really focusing on like, okay, if like we want to do restaurants, like we're only in New York right now for bars and restaurants. We don't like, we're not in California yet. And so I think it's been we're both like really focused on that. And like that's kind of like my domain. Shelby's more in like the retail side of things. So just like trying to stay like really organized and like just delegate of like, okay, like this is like my focus and this is your focus, and like set goals for each revenue stream, and then like try to hit them. And if like we're not hitting one for a certain one, like should we pivot to something else or try something different? It's definitely hard, I would say, like to manage all the different types of ways to sell the product.
For sure.
Yeah, and the distribution is different. It's different to distribute to a grocery store than it is to distribute to a restaurant or a bar. And so there are different milestones you have to hit to get those distributors. So trying to like organize all of that.
Yeah. But I think it's also staying focused on like where is our biggest opportunity for revenue, and even if those doors are harder to open, like we need to like press forward in those realms, even if like these other turnkey channels can be like an easy convert, because like the velocity and consumption is like obviously where we're going to get the most revenue. So yeah, food service and bars and restaurants are a big focus, but you know, expanding with the other revenue channels as well.
Yeah. Since there's so much to do you guys have plans on expanding the team anytime soon, hiring?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're hoping that we can bring on, I think where we need the most help, like shout it out into the void, is selling to bars and restaurants. We really would love like an on-field sales team. Like, I think liquor brands do a really good job of like selling to bars and restaurants. And like when we go in and we're like, we're doing this, they're kind of like, oh, we've like never seen like a sales rep for this. Like, it's kind of exciting. They're like, okay, like this is fun. Yeah. So we're kind of looking for someone who can help, because we really do want to get a distributor for our food service. We're self-distributing right now. Like, founders wearing all hats. Like, I deliver all of our I deliver all of our food service stuff. Yeah, you know, like be humble, stay humble. Yeah, it's heavy. But
you're like, hi, I'm the CEO.
And here's our delivery. Yeah. No, it's great. I mean, it just also shows like it's never easy. Like on the outside, it could look like so shiny and exciting, and on the inside, you're like, oh my god, we're like running around doing all these things, but it's like worth it because you build such a connection with the like bartenders and the people that serve your product, and it's so helpful. But I'm hoping that we could bring on someone to help with those sales, because it'll be really worthwhile.
Yeah. Marketing would be another like next hire too, but we've been incorporating like a peripheral team from like consulting to like advisors to like interns that like can help us drive forward in this current stage, which has been really impactful too.
Paid interns. We pay our interns, don't worry.
Are you mention us when you're applying?
Are you self-funded right now, or do you guys have outside investors?
We raised a little friends and family. Nice. Actually, we were self-funded up until a couple months ago this year.
It's amazing.
So we like all of that, and then we were like, hey, we would, this would be nice to have a little extra capital. And we actually are in the process of raising a formal seed round right now.
Amazing. Congrats.
Thank you. Awesome. Yeah.
Well, I am personally super excited for your next wave. I think I definitely want to try it as well. But I mean, really excited where you guys are going. Would love to see your holiday pop-ups. I feel like that's going to be amazing. But would love to just, obviously you guys lived kind of full careers before you started this company. I feel like it became very serendipitous. Would love to hear, we have lots of young listeners, fastly, in corporate jobs, maybe thinking about starting a company. What advice would you give your young self thinking about starting a company? And what it means.
Oh man.
Well, there's a lot of advice you can take. I would say there's no one route for success. And so someone could be in finance their whole career and then start a CPG company. Someone else could be in marketing agency and go the same route, so there's not like a cookie cutter format. I think it really stems in like being passionate about what your brand idea and concept is, doing enough market research or like determining the product market fit, and then like making the leap of faith, because really just the act of doing it is like the biggest obstacle that keeps all of us of like, oh, I have a business idea, let me tell you about it, that with, and then just my sales hat on, I'll put my sales hat on of like, rejection is just embrace the rejection and know that more no's are going to get you to yes. And so in that daily grind, that's like something that I like continue to stay top of mind, because it's just how the cookie crumbles or how doing business works,
Yeah, I think like again, like I like to say, like perfection is the enemy of progress. So I feel like you probably could be toiling with something for a really long time and you want to be absolutely perfect. Your go-to-market strategy, you've done the research, all that. So sometimes it's just like get out there and just like see what the reaction is, and you can always pivot and you can always learn from your customers, but like you have to take one step. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. It's like a whole thing. It's like you just have to kind of like go for it, and then like I think the universe will give you like the direction that you should be going in or not going in. And so I think then I always like to say this, I don't know if it's like necessarily like for CPG specifically, but for anyone, I think if you're thinking about doing something, I always say comparison is like the thief of joy. Like you really have to like silence out all of the noise around you. You could spend hours scrolling social media, looking at LinkedIn, like news releases, like all these things of like all these companies doing something. But like I said, on the outside, it's really shiny and nice. On the inside, here I am driving my car around, like delivering all of these, but it's like so worth it. And so like, don't just get discouraged because you're seeing something and you're like, they're so far ahead of me, or they're like doing X, Y, and Z. It's like really like lean into just like the discovery. I don't know. Don't compare yourself because then you'll never get anywhere. You'll never do anything. So I don't know if that's really about like getting started. It's more of like if you do decide to start, like don't get discouraged because it's hard. A lot of noise. Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, that's great advice. And super excited for Quincy's next step. Where can we find you on social media?
Yeah. So we're at Drink Quincy. On Instagram, and then we're underscore drink underscore Quincy due to like an issue with TikTok.
Did someone steal it?
On TikTok, so you can find us there. And then we're drinkquincy.com. Okay. Yes.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being on it. We love it. And everyone, thank you so much for listening. As always, reach out to us at Women's Splain Pod and all of the socials. Email us womensplainpod1@gmail.com and drink Quincy.
Yeah.
And thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
so fun.
you. Cheers.